Promise.
Yep.
All right, if you guys do have a question, there's so many people, try and raise your hand and I'll just call on you so we can keep some semblance of order. We'll start over here. Bill?
With the Texas game being early and the Big Ten schedule being what it is, 18 teams, it's probably going to be tough every year. Do you think that will coaches make further changes the way they schedule their non-conference?
I mean, I don't know. I think you want to have the competitive nature regardless of what you do. And a lot of these schedules are scheduled out a while from now. So for us, we're just going to play whoever we have to play. You know, we're excited about every opportunity we get, and we're excited for every game we get to play.
Sherrone, what is your version of climbing up in a tree to get a recruit, taking your shirt off, getting a photograph with guy? What version of that of Jim is you? What's your
Really, my version of that is getting to know these kids inside and out, everything about them, about who they are, how they tick, who's going to help them make these decisions, and continually to show them, you know, who I am as a person, and let them get to know our program, get to know us, and get to know me. And you know, that's what I'm going to do. Coach was his own man, and I'm my own man, so we'll do it that way.
On the right there.
When you were recruiting Donovan Edwards, what kind of kid was he then, and what does he turn into today, you believe?
I mean, he's the same energetic person he's been since I saw him in high school, walking the hallways, dapping everybody up, smiling, laughing, on the field making the plays. He's just become more mature, really grown in his spirituality and his faith. And that's probably the biggest thing. And then as a leader, he's always been a leader, but now he's a leader of men in college and really done a good job of that. So he hasn't changed from the personality he is, but just matured a little bit.
Heather?
Coach, you mentioned on the big stage leaning into your mentors, and I was wondering how often you do talk to Coach Harbaugh, and what's the best advice that he's given you?
Yeah, I just talked to him about 2 days ago, and just continue to say, do you, because it was working, and it continues to work. So for me, he's always himself. He's always just going to tell me the truth, and I'll talk to him as often as possible. And he told me, you know, his phone's there, and he's just waiting to be counted on. So I'm excited to call him again soon. Yeah, I mean, I think the spirit of Bo, Jim, all the great players before us, you know, those spirits are together. And really, as he'll tell you, as he always did, it's about the players. And really, the players are maintaining the culture and the brotherhood that we have. So to watch them every single day is really what's kept us where we are today.
With the quarterback battle, you've got a lot of options there. How do you, when it comes to making a decision, how do you balance playmaking ability versus just consistency, accuracy? Like, how do you balance all the different traits that they might present?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I think the number one thing is who's going to take care of the football. Who's going to be the guy to take care of the football? Our defense is going to provide them a bunch of different looks. They're going to have Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant running at them, and Josiah Stewart and just Jay Sean Barham and Will off the edge and McCarry and all these guys and the different looks. So who's going to take care of the football? Who's going to make a play? And then the next thing, who's going to really lean on the team win and team first mentality? And for us, you know, we'll get a good feel as we go through training camp. Don't know what the day is, don't know when it'll be, but you guys will know as soon as we do. Maybe. It was awesome. I learned so much of what to do, what it should look like, what I wanted it to look like, what I didn't want it to look like. You know, my first year coaching, I think we were 4-8 as when I was a GA. First year I was coming from Oklahoma, and then joined the staff there, and the head coach got let go, and then Charlie Strong comes in, revamps the whole thing, and we ended up my last 2 years being a full-time coach there. We lost like 3 games total. Teddy Bridgewater was drafted in the first round. Devontae Parker was drafted in the first round, and I saw what it took to, you know, flip a program on its head, and then, you know, getting the opportunity to see that and enjoy that and be a part of it really has molded my career and what I've done now. And then obviously the opportunity to go to Central Michigan's the same thing, and then the opportunity with Coach Harbaugh the last 6 years really helped me and build a vision of what we're going to look like now.
Hey, Coach, when you finished your
Donovan was actually sitting in the crowd clapping, and he said, well, looked at all of us and said what no was. What does that mean to have that kind of support as you step into this level?
Yeah, I mean, the players are all the support we need. I want to support them in every way possible. So for me, it means everything. It means everything. I got their back and they got my back, and that's all that matters.
Sherrone, you guys played the maximum games last year, 15 playoffs expanding. You're looking at a potential for 2 more games, potential 17-game season. Late in the year, any adjustments you have to make, maybe keeping guys fresh or anything with the playoff expanding?
I mean, the number one thing is you got to win. So you can't focus on trying to keep people fresh. If you don't win, you're not playing. So for us, we're going to do everything we can to win. In the preparation, however we got to do it, we're going to do it. And we made great adjustments last year, and we'll continue to do that as we go through.
Coach, was Greg Griffin battling with the center, and what's the right tackle battle look like?
Yeah, him and Raheem Anderson have a great battle going on right now. Super excited to see who wins it. Both those guys have been waiting in the wings. They've been around really good players. Andrew Vistardis will start off when they were both freshmen. Olu with Timmy, who won the Remington and Outland, and then Drake Nugent, who was an All-American. So it's not like they've been around players that haven't been pretty good. So those guys have really sat back in the shadows, and with the world of the transfer portal and the era, for them not to leave tells you the dedication and love they have for Michigan. So they both deserve the right to go get this job, and they've been awesome. So excited to see what happens. And then the right tackle, we got Jeff Percy, we got Andrew Gentry, both guys who've played a lot of football. Jeff Percy started a game for us 2 years ago. Andrew's played a lot of football, so excited to see what happens.
Given all the change internally and externally in college football, in your mind, what's a successful first season for you look like?
Yeah, I mean, just for us to get better every single day. We're going to strive to be better than we were yesterday and then be better tomorrow. So for us, that's all we're going to try to do, and then everything else will take care of itself.
The secondary, obviously, you guys brought a ton of depth in there, but specifically nickel. Who do you like maybe to replace Mikey Saberstone? I guess, how do you feel about just the depth and how you revamp that?
I feel great about the depth. Obviously, in the secondary, you got Will Johnson, who's the best corner in college football. And then opposite of him could be a number of guys. The guy right now looks like Jair Hill, but Amir Hall obviously came in. Ricky Johnson has come in. Miles Powers is making a push to get better. So we're excited about all those corners. We got a lot of depth there. And then got safety, you got Makari Page, obviously. Unfortunately with Rod, the injury there, but I feel like we got some guys that come in and really help. And having Quentin Johnson back's been huge. Zeke Berry, he's really, really taken the steps necessary. Had a great
spring, and excited to see him. But we got 2 transfers in the secondary with the safeties with Jaden and Wes Walker. So we got a lot of competition. And as we said, the depth chart is ever flowing. It never stops. So we'll continue to see who wins the job.
Coach, just 2 quickies. Number one, when do you expect like a final ruling maybe from the NCAA about the investigation? Tony Patini said it's still in there, et cetera. And then number 2, what specifically does Tony Alford bring to the program? And you had to know that would send a few ripples through the game rivalry too, I would think. But what do you like most about him?
Yeah, as far as the NCAA, I'm not at liberty to comment about that. Not worried about that. We're just really worried about what we have going on with our team and our football program, and we'll go from there. But with Tony, man, just an unbelievable human being, person I've known for a very, very long time, respected for a long time, and respected throughout the business for what he's done in the recruiting department, how he's coached, where he's coached, and who he is. So for us, it was just a great fit of a great person first, and then a great coach and teacher second. Contagious enthusiasm. Yeah, besides smashed, I guess that's the Sherroneism everybody knows. But no, I mean, it'll come out day by day and see what happens. I don't try to quote coach every second. That's really a Jack Harbaugh'ism, something that's really sustained through the program for a long time. And we're always going to be about the team, and that's something that goes back to both. So for us, that's what we're gonna live and die on. And other than that, we'll see what comes out at different moments.
Sherrone, when you talk about the run game, game. Obviously, Donovan Edwards takes up a lot of the headlines. But who do you see filling in alongside him, and how do you what do you make of Ben Hall and Khalil Mullings so far?
Yeah, the guy that's not talked about enough is Khalil Mullings. He's going to be a force. He's unbelievable. He looks as good as he's ever has. He's good to have a great year. I mean, you watch him last year, every time he came in, he has an explosive play, a big play. He runs over somebody, makes somebody miss, but it's hard to take the ball out of Blake Corum's hands, you know? So for us, we've got a stable of guys. We've got him. We got Ben Hall. We got Cole Cabana. We got this freshman Jordan Marshall. I mean, we got Micah Capana. We got guys left and right. So we're really excited about that group and continue to go day by day.
Yeah, Sherrone, I know camp hasn't even opened, the regular season hadn't opened, but of this head coaching role you're in, I know you had a little taste of it last year. What's the thing that's really kind of surprised you about that role, whether it's dealing with alumni, donors, whatever, that's like, wow, I didn't know what I signed up for. Was there anything?
Yeah, a lot more pictures you got to take. That's probably the biggest thing. Like, I didn't realize it was this many for me, but all the other things that come with it, I figured they would. You know, the donor events, the alumni, the meetings, the head coaching meetings with the other head coaches. You know, there's a lot more of those than I thought. Just talking about issues that we have to deal with as coaches and making the best decisions for our student athletes. So probably those are the biggest things. But really, the coolest thing is that I get to be around every player on the team and hang around all the players. You know, from the kickers to the walk-ons to the starting quarterback, wherever that may be, and to the linemen, to the receivers. So, like, for me, I get a chance to hang around all the players. That's pretty awesome.
Austin, Sherrone, do you think it's harder to create that hunger in a team after you've won a national championship? And how do you go about it?
No, I don't think it is. I think when you're at Michigan, you're always hungry to win. And the tradition, the passion that we have at Michigan, we're always hunting to be great. We're always hunting to win. So for us, there's no complacency of what we want to do and who we want to be every single day. I mean, we'll figure that out as we go through camp. You know, the different things, the processes in which we attack it, we're just going to keep doing it. And the hard work, the toughness, the mentality that we attack everything offense, defense, special teams with, we're going to do. You know, more music at practice. Coach didn't play music at practice. I'm guessing the Chargers are finding that out now. But everything else, yeah, you know, there'll be things here and there that are different, but most of that stuff's going to stay the same.
Sherrone, can you imagine taking over this program without 7 years invested, without coaching 3 or 4 games last year, without being a coordinator, you know, having that safety plug behind you? And then kind of following up on Austin's question, if anybody deserves a honeymoon year, it's you. Do you see it that way?
First of all, on the first question, I think that, you know, all those experiences have shaped and helped me to right now, to allow me the chance to get this opportunity with this great staff that I have and great players to lead this program. And no, there's no honeymoon year. We're just ready to attack. All my life I've been a competitor. I've wanted to win, and I've tried to win everywhere where I've been. And like, there's no time off. There's no, oh, let's take a step back. Like, that's not our goal. Like, we know what we want to do. We know how we want to attack it. I'm hungrier than ever.
Obviously, you've had some of the freshmen on campus as early enrollees. You've got the rest in, but they haven't been through camp. But who's impressed you, whether they're the guys who've been around or even some of them who are newer?
Yeah, I think to watch these freshmen, man, talk about a mature group. I'll start with the quarterback, Jaden Davis. Dude just makes plays every time he was in the game. You know, in the spring, he did a really good job of handling things, still learning the playbook, still learning the game, adjusting. But phenomenal job. 2 guys that excited to watch. Both receivers, Amarion Stewart, Channing Goodwin. Those guys are really electric. Have some ability. Whether they play early or not, we'll see. But excited about them. All the linemen, we had 5 of them enroll and super stoked about them. But Jordan Marshall has a little bit of Blake Corum mentality in him and skill set. So super excited about him. On the defense side of the ball, the guy probably most excited about as a true freshman is Dom Nichols. Big, long athlete, goofy as can be, funny as can be, but dude can play. And super excited to see what he does this year.
What are your expectations for the Washington game? Obviously, it's not going to be the same as the national
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously it's different because it's the regular season game, and you got another game after that, and all those things. And the national championship's different than any other game, so a little bit different. But as far as when you get into the game, it's going to be a competitive game. They're going to be a good team. They're going to be well coached, so we got to prepare like any other game. I know a little bit about Jed. I know he was at Michigan, and I've had some conversation with him, and know he's a good coach. So excited for our competition with them, and excited to go out to Washington. Yeah, he's been great, man. He's been accurate. He's been throwing it hard, throwing physical, fast, and he looks good. Jack's had the unfortunate favor to be behind Michael Penix Jr. and J.J. McCarthy. So he's excited, to say the least. So watch him compete. We're ready to see what happens. Yeah, we're just going to play the best 11. We'll see.
Sherrone, how much do you get the sense that people do think from the outside that there will be some kind of drop-off?
I mean, I think there's always everybody's speculations and opinions, and it's not our job to really care about what everybody else thinks. So for us, it's whatever, we know who we're going to be, and that's all we're going to do.
And to follow up, I mean, at Wayne State, you kind of told some campers, like, one of the messages was to, make them hold their breath so that they suffocate. I mean, do you apply that to the team and kind of the mentality that you coach with? I mean, kind of messaging to the team.
Yeah, I mean, for me, for the team, they just see my interactions with them every day. They know how much I love them, how much I care about them, and how much I believe in them. So that's all they really need, and they got enough motivation being in Michigan.
Next one is Chris.
Coach, kicking game's been huge for you guys the last several years. Is Dominic here now, and have you seen anything from him yet?
Yeah, Dominic's here. He's been awesome. Dude's got a leg. He can boot it. Been super accurate. So super excited about him.
And then, can you win the Big Ten this year, and why?
Yeah, I think, every year that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to compete to win the Big Ten. And if we do, it's because we took care of the football. We played great defense, and we played as hard as we could every game.
Coach, you talked about on the big stage about kind of delegating responsibilities and something that you need to get better at. I was just wondering how that's going with Kirk Campbell again, and how much maybe you want him as a former offensive coordinator, maybe have a hand in the offense, but then at the same time give it to him as something, how that dynamic's going to go.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, Kurt, I trust in and out. I mean, he's done such an unbelievable job, and I told a story about we won the national title, and we go back to the office, and Kurt's in there yelling at the screen because somebody's route depth wasn't right. I'm like, dude, go home. We just won the Natty, bro. Like, go. But that's the type of guy he is. So for me, it's less and less difficult to delegate things when you have people like that around you, having him and having Wink and having JB Brown. Those guys are unbelievable, tough, hard workers. And their number one goal is the team, which makes it most important for me.
Coaches always say you have to find your voice and be yourself. I'm just wondering what that process is like after following a guy with obviously a lot of success, a big personality, someone that you're very, very close to. What's that like as a young first-time head coach?
Yeah, it's being me. I can't be coach. I can't be Jim Harbaugh, and I never will be. So for me, I go as I go. I'm not going to change how I am. When I get excited, I'm going to get excited. When I want to yell smash, I'm going to yell smash. When I want us to play violent, I'm going to let our players know. And that's what I'm going to do. But when I love them, I love them. And when I feel like they need a hug, I'm going to give them a hug. Like that, I'm just going to be me. And I can't change that. And I'm not going to change that.
What does the national championship mean in terms of where you can go in areas
I mean, I don't think necessarily the national championship changed our recruiting philosophy. I think it was more of, we're at Michigan. We should be able to recruit the best of the best. And that's going to be my attitude as long as I'm the head coach here.
Does adding West Coast teams to the Big Ten maybe change the formula, how much time you want to spend in certain places with making that transition?
No, the biggest thing for us, I mean, we're a big fit-based organization, so they got to be a fit. Obviously, have to have great grades and got to be a fit for us. So wherever we go, regardless if we're in Washington, California, Oregon, Idaho, or we're in New York or Maryland or Florida, like they have to be a fit for us.
Coach, if you could take one quality from J.J. McCarthy and put it in your quarterbacks now, being around him like you were, what would it be?
The ability to be so cerebral in the most pressure moments. Just he was just calm. He was vintage. He was himself, but he was always ready to attack. And you can always count on him when the big plays were there, and you needed somebody to make a big play. He'd make it, or he'd let whoever was supposed to make it, and wouldn't go out of the way to do something crazy. So I think he grew to that, and excited to watch our quarterbacks do the same.
And what's the secret of finding that in new guys? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think there's a secret. I think it's the work. I think it's the work that we have to do throughout training camp to find that.
Coach, a player that ended up on a lot of people's radars last season was Samaj Parker. Can you talk about his development and also how his intensity is indicative of the program?
Yeah, Samaj is probably one of the best practice players on the team. I mean, he practices so hard. He probably loses about 5 to 6 pounds every practice, and he's got to gain it back. But the guy runs hard, runs physical, and for being a guy that's so little in stature, he plays like he's 200 pounds, and he'll tell you that too. So, but he's done an outstanding job of changing his body in a good way, of continuing the speed. Got a 4.0 this semester, so that was a big change to allow him to get the number 0, which he wouldn't stop bugging me about. But he's done an outstanding job, and excited for what he's going to do this year.
Coach Harbaugh, Jim was such a big advocate about revenue sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're spending your whole summer trying to wrap your head around it. What's that been like, and how is Michigan kind of echoing what Jim was all about? We're going to be all about revenue sharing.
Yeah, we're all about it. We're all about supporting our players in every single way. Our administration is aligned and ready to do that and figure out the best way to allocate all those funds to our student athletes. So we're all in for it, and we knew Coach wanted it, and we're definitely hands with doing that.
How's your NIL collective evolved in the last 6 months?
It's been huge. They've done an outstanding job. They just realized what we have to do and how we have to compete. It's part of the game. It's part of it. You got to have a plan. And we continue to be aligned as an administration and collective to get there.
Sherrone, Ben Herbert was kind of the not-so-secret weapon in terms of getting your guys physically ready the last year. So what do you make of the job that Justin Trust has done for the last 6 months or so?
Yeah, so Coach Herb actually came to a practice or a walk-through-ish thing that we can have, per NCAA rules. We can do stuff without, going against the defense, all that. And Herb said, nothing's changed. So for him to say that and to watch the guys work out, I think that speaks volumes to what Jay Tress and what that crew's done. They've done an outstanding job, along with Abigail O'Connor and their staff, of keeping the intensity, the attention to detail where it needs to be for us to do what we need to do.
Sure. And what made CJ and Maureen the guys you wanted to target at receiver in the transfer portal, and what do you expect from them this year?
Yeah, CJ Charleston, man, he's a quick little cat. He's gonna be great, but he's just a great fit. Just a great fit for who we are, what we're going to do. And then Amayan, there's a lot of familiarity with him. We know a guy that wanted to come back, and I guess talked to a lot of our players, and he just constantly wanted to come back. And when the opportunity presented himself, said, "Hey, let's bring you back home." So that's what happened.
Bill?
I feel like there haven't been too many questions about the defense, maybe because so many guys are coming back and you guys in practice. But what is Lincoln added, or tweak different styles of defense, or is it just pretty much the same thing?
Well, I think you'll find out game 1 what he's tweaked and added, and as we go out through the season, we'll tell a story of what we tweaked or added. But the defense will be fun to watch, and we'll put our players in a position to be successful.
All right, Michael?
Sherrone, what are some of the things that you noticed about Kirk when he called plays during the spring that were kind of maybe his unique traits or his fingerprints that he could put on things as a play caller?
Yeah, I mean, during the spring, you saw a little bit of what we did, or a good bit of what we did, but you can see his flavor on it. And I think he's going to do an unbelievable job. He's creative, he's smart, he's detailed, and he's going to find every way to attack defenses, and even more ways than I did. So I'm excited to watch the offense develop.
Are there any differences between you as an offensive line guy and him as a quarterbacks guy in terms of just how the play calls come together, or what he would favor versus you?
No, I think more so like it's going to be different because it's going to be different players. So you're going to get the ball in the playmaker's hands, and whoever those people are, we're going to make sure they get the football. So
we both want to win. So we're going to get the guys in the ball in their hands that they're going to help us win.
Sherrone, for 2 decades, Ohio State dominated the rivalry of the last 2 years. What do you think's been the key to that? How much do you track?
We think about them 24/7, 365. So that's what we're going to continue to do. That's how we're going to continue to attack it. And, we're just going to attack our process. We really can't be worried about what happened in the past and what the future holds. We just got to worry about today, and that'll dedicate and predict what we do in these future games.
Sherrone, it seemed like, especially through the last 3 years, winning the Big Ten, making the playoff, that roster continuity was maybe a bit of a superpower for you guys, for lack of a better term, and keeping guys from leaving in the portal, the one more year fund. How valuable is that to not be trying to fit in new pieces all across the place and just running it back with the same guys who know each other, who understand what's expected of them, versus trying to kind of retrofit a team every year?
Yeah, I think you have to have that to be able to compete. You got to have the same or similar guys in your locker room, and then develop the culture, have it sustained, and continue to roll it over to the next people that join your team. So for us, it's been invaluable to have those guys to come back every year.
And how much does NIL play a role in that? Obviously, the one more year fund was big, but it seems like that can be a very targeted practice for you guys going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it is part of it, but the number one thing is they want to go to Michigan. They want to be a part of that brotherhood, that camaraderie, and they want to do what they came to do in the first place, which is continue to win championships.
With rule changes with how you use analysts, how do you plan incorporating them into the staff?
Yeah, I mean, we figured that would come in. We got a plan, so guys that can coach, and we've distributed it out as we've gone through, and I guess everybody will start to see it.
Does that take some of the load off maybe the regular primary coaches in practice?
I mean, I think it just gives them assistance and allows people to get detailed in other areas and let other people to help them, because nobody knows everything. So you need the assistance and help. And then it just allows more coaches to coach on the field, which is necessary. We got so many players on the field. So everybody needs coaching. Everybody needs direction. So now you have more eyes on those young student athletes.
Yeah, just wondering if you could speak to Mason and KG specifically for a minute. I mean, back to the player retention. I know, keeping them here was obviously critical to what you wanted to do. Just they told me the other day that they were kind of after the initial coaching change, there was sort of a what's going on moment, right? Just what your message was to keeping them, and then just you can speak to what they do and how much they unlock this defense.
Yeah, I think when you have any change, there's always some kind of indecision, some kind of thought process. So there's that. They're young, they're kids, and for us, the message was just look, man, you know what you came here to do. You know what this place is about. You know how I'm going to coach you. You know how we're going to take care of you. The decision's on you. And it wasn't very hard for them to do that, to stay in Michigan, a place they've dedicated, that they trust, that they understand that's going to take care of them and set them up for life. So that was that. But those guys have been working their tails off. They are not satisfied with anything. They're very hungry. So super excited for training camp for them.
Colson Loveland seems like an unlimited ceiling for him. How many different ways can you weaponize a player like that? When he catches the ball, he seems to just ignite downfield.
Yeah, I mean, ever heard of Travis Kelce? I mean, that's what you're looking at. That dude's an animal. He's an absolute animal. And the guy just works. He works. And you got Colson. He reminds me of Blake when he we had to stop Blake from doing extra. Colson, you can't do that much. You got to stop. You got to hold out. So this guy's the limit for him.
Well, has he improved in certain areas that make him?
Yeah, everything. Run game. He looks like a receiver when he's running routes. So it's going to be awesome to watch him.
Charlie, Sherrone, last year defensively, you guys talked a lot about the 4 pillars. Is that something that you've maintained with the new defensive coordinator? And if not, are there any new mantras you've added, either offensively or defensively?
Yeah, the players were super adamant about keeping that, and Wink was way on board with it. So they've definitely kept those pillars, and they're excited for the defense. They're excited for what's going to happen and all the tweaks and all the things that they're doing, but making sure that they're all in a great position, which he's done a really good job of doing.
You're talking to players, they say the preparation and attention to detail has almost risen since last season, knowing they're defending a national championship. Have you noticed that in your team as well?
Yeah, I have. I think when you have guys that haven't played as much, with as much game experience, but you have enough of them
they know they've got to take it up a notch, and they're not satisfied. They're very hungry to be successful. So I've seen that, I've seen the times of there's just guys in the building and they won't leave, and you want that. That's what you need. So when you have that, you got a great culture and great program set up.
You talked about Rayshon Benny's progress coming back from injury.
Yeah, he's been great, man. It was great to see him. I watched him just do some drills the other day. He looks good, and I think he'll work out the kinks in the first week of training camp, and he'll be ready to go.
Can you talk about some of the young offensive linemen that are waiting their turn that you have your eye on?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I'll just start with the O-line. Guys like Miles Hinton and Josh Preby have done an outstanding job. I think they're going to be superstars. I said it last year, Miles Hinton could be the best one of them all, and that includes the guys that were there. So he's done an outstanding job. Andrew Gentry, really excited about what he's going to do this year. Super excited about him. Gio El-Hadi is a guy who's been waiting, who's been behind too, an All-American, All-Conference guards. And he's played in games, he's started in games, and been a stalwart for us. So super excited about him. And a guy that nobody really talks about is Dominique Cadiz, who moves from D-line to O-line. He's really taken a step in the right direction. So excited to see where he does. Yeah, we did.
And how did that go, and what do you think about that?
Yeah, it went well. It was funny because like you turn on the radio frequency and like you can just yell at the guy to say anything. So I would just be messing with people. Like I grabbed one on the defense side and yelled at Ernest one time and yelled at somebody else, and so it's gone well. The players really like it, and it's just going to take some more getting used to as we get through training camp.
And I was just following up on Chris asking about personnel. Rod Moore, can he shoot for coming back by the end of the season?
Yeah, we'll see. I think he's on progress, maybe slightly ahead. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, back in November, there were kind of two competing ideas that were presented, like even by Jim. I mean, the idea that Michigan's a America's team and Michigan versus everybody. You seem to lean towards the Michigan versus everybody. How's that informed your approach coming into this season, kind of as a rookie, when you are hearing some of the other stuff about what can and can't be done?
Yeah, I mean, just for us, and since I've been there, it's like people are going to predict what they're going to predict. They're going to say what they're going to say, and our job is not to prove anybody right, to prove ourselves right. So we're just going to go day by day and try to get better, not worry about anything else.